Hello everyone, Spark here, and this is 1911 of the game Crowds in 2020. So first of all, before getting into 1911, I should say something about something that I said in earlier videos and that was a little bit incorrect. I led you to believe that if Italy was going from Venice to Piedmont, then I would be forced into a draw. But that's not actually accurate. Basically, if Italy went actually to Piedmont, I could have still won, but at that point it wouldn't be an assured thing, because at that point Piedmont would be able to support Marseille forever and wait for fleets to arrive from Lyon, but I would have had at least in my calculations I did at the time 2 turns to take Portugal or Spain or even Marseille before those fleets arrived to make the stalemate line real solid. So basically I still would have had a chance, because after an Italian fleet, an Italian army is in Piedmont to support Marseille, I still can attack Portugal or Spain, and the Spanish player can protect only one of the two, or he can use Marseille to protect Spain, while Spain can protect Portugal, but at that point he would leave Marseille undefended. So basically the Spanish player would have had to choose which one of those centers he wanted to protect, and I would have had to choose which one of the centers I would want to attack. And in the end, it all would have depended on a coin toss, basically. So random chance. It's not really random, because I could use some psychology and do a simpler move or a more difficult move to try to take some of these centers. But that's just to say that the missing move to Piedmont just ensured my victory instead of letting it rely on some guesses. Yeah, I just said it, the missing move to Piedmont ensured my victory. After Italy moves Venice to Rome in 1910, now I have absolute certainty of winning this game. I knew as soon as I saw this. And I didn't say this in the 1910 video because I wanted to leave you in the dark just for a little bit longer. But yeah, when I see this map, I see that I can win this game no problem, or at least I thought so. I don't really need any more diplomacy to win, it's just tactics at this point. But this video will not be only about tactics, because I decided to spice things up in this last year, because at this point I had decided to make a video about it, so I wanted to make this year interesting as the previous years, even though the outcome of the match was decided at this point. So what did I do? First of all, I decided on my moves. The best moves I can do are Liverpool convoyed to Portugal, and at the same time Gascony attacks Marseille with support from Burgundy. This is good because Spain can only stop one of those moves. It can stop my attack on Portugal by moving Spain to Portugal, or it can stop my attack on Marseille by moving Marseille to Gascony with support from Spain. But since both moves require the fleet in Spain to do something, basically one of the two will succeed no matter what. So I will take Portugal or Marseille, and after I take one of those, I win, because I will be able to take Spain and Marseille, or Spain and Portugal after the first center falls. So these were my moves with these units. Of course, I was using North Atlantic Ocean to support all the Mid-Atlantic Ocean to avoid any dislodging of this fleet, and I was supporting St. Petersburg and Munich, so none of my centers, and Berlin, of course, so none of my centers can be dislodged and removed, and I can't lose any center. The only center I can lose is Tunis, but since I can take Portugal, Spain and Marseille for sure, I can win this game with 18, because Ruhr is a center in this variant, as I predicted. Also, Tunis, even if it is dislodged, I can go to Tyrrhenian and harass Italy, so I can even take a 19th center possibly. This fleet from Spain, other than defend his own centers, he has to take or to help taking Tunis, because I can even win with just 2 of these 3 centers plus Tunis. So I have so many ways to win this, but the simpler and fastest way is to take Portugal, take Marseille, one of the 2, and then take the other centers and losing Tunis. One thing I didn't notice though, and that's good that I used the sandbox, because I didn't want to mess up this turn after all this time. This game lasted slightly more than a month. Was that actually there was a move that could force a draw even with all this that I said, and that move was Western Mediterranean to Gulf of Lyon. That would have screwed me up so badly, because at that point, I don't remember exactly the specifics, but it was a very difficult combination of moves by Spain and Italy that would impede me from taking everything. So I changed my orders from Tunis just holding to Tunis moving to Western Mediterranean, so that if Western Mediterranean was actually moving to Gulf of Lyon, so wasn't doing anything against me in any way, I would follow suit into Western Mediterranean. And at this point, this combination of moves is winning no matter what. I calculated that with the combination of moves I just talked about, Liverpool to Portugal, Gascony to Marseille with support, everything else supporting, and Tunis to Western Med, I would win this game even with optimal play from Spain and Italy in 1912. 1912 would be the last year of the game with optimal play by my adversaries. So after I was sure about this, of course you can't be completely sure, you can always not see something, but I published in the Global Press my declaration of victory. I said basically that it was a good game, I had a lot of fun, I complimented my rivals. I said to Russia and Italy to let Spain and Turkey live, in particular Spain, by letting him have Tunis and survive there, because there was no point in eliminating them if the game was gonna end in my solo anyway. This is actually not completely sincere. I don't really care about Spain's and Turkey's survival, but I do care about finishing the game a little bit faster, and if Italy in spring supports Western Mediterranean into Tunis, I can win even faster without going into the weird and difficult combination I had calculated of Western Mediterranean going into Gulf of Lyon. So it was simpler for me. I didn't have to think about the game much more, so that's why I said it. It was also sincere in a way, because why eliminate Turkey after all he did for me, because he distracted Russia and Italy long enough to let me win, basically. He did it for his own survival, of course, and I exploited that. And they exploited the fact that Italy, for some reason, was so committed in going against Turkey, even moving this fleet into Eastern Mediterranean. At this message, all players still playing, dead or alive, even old players I hadn't heard from for a while, like Germany, Balkan, with which I have never talked before, Spain, and so on, responded during 1911 in global chat. But the most important player with which I talked only in global chat was Russia. And Russia said, we can still stop you, we can still meet you, we have the centers to do it, it isn't over yet. And to that I said, I don't think so, I checked, but I may be wrong, because he said, no, we can, it's possible. He wasn't claiming to have the certainty of drawing this game, but he was claiming that there was a possibility. Okay, I appreciate his passion in ending the game, fighting until the end. I was really worried, but there was a possibility that I had not seen something. France responded saying that there was no way to stop me, And Bankan said that there was a very good chance of me winning, especially if Tunis became a raider. So basically, Tunis retreated into Tyrrhenian Sea and became a raider on the coast of Italy. The Bankan player thought that I had a good chance, but not a certainty of winning. I thought I had 100% certainty of winning this game, but probably they didn't look at the moves and at the tactics as deeply as I did, because of course they weren't engaged in the game as much as I was. So that's my conversation in Global Chat in 1911. Let's see what Spain chose to do, if it chose to go to Gulf of Lyon and go for the longer and more difficult route, or if he went for Tunis or something like that. Yeah, so basically Spain opted for suboptimal moves that made the game finish even faster, because it didn't defend appropriately neither Portugal nor Marseille, because he used Marseille to support Spain into Gascony and not vice versa, while using Western Med to go to Spain. So this meant that I'm in Portugal and I am in Marseille, and this means that I can take Spain for sure, because I can go Mid-Atlantic Ocean to Spain, supported by Portugal, and Marseille will be mine. There is no way to take that away from me, so it's over. Basically, this is the last season of the game. But anyway, there's also another point. I can actually not take Spain and remain alive in Tunis, because if actually Western Med decides to support home Spain, I can't actually take Spain. But if Western Med supports home Spain, I can't lose Tunis, and I win with Portugal, Marseille, and Tunis. Or it's even possible that Spain goes to Mid-Atlantic Ocean, Western Med supports Spain to Mid-Atlantic Ocean, and I win with Portugal, Marseille, or Tunis. So basically my ending scenario is winning with the centers I already own, plus Marseille and Portugal, and I might win with Spain but losing Tunis, or with Tunis but not conquering Spain. I, at this point, write in chat again, good game, and Russia still claiming that they can win, they can draw this game, publishes on Global Chat the set of moves that they need to do, which is a good set of moves at this point. It's Western Med going to Tunis with support, Spain going to Mid-Atlantic Ocean. So it's a normal set of moves that ensures that they take Tunis, but again, I will take Spain and win with that set of moves. And I say to him in Global Chat that that's not gonna work. And Bankan intervenes, siding with me, saying that he has to agree with me. And Russia at that point says, you need 19 to win this game. And I don't. I actually don't need 19 centers. Russia was mistaken in thinking that in this map you need 19, even though I can see why he would think that. So Russia went into a deep think. He checked the map description and he realized that you don't need 19 to win this game. You need 18 like any other game. And at this point, Russia brought up the argument that this map is lopsided in favor of the West, even though I would say in favor of the North. Because the northern power, north of the stalemate line, have the 18 centers, while the southern half of the map has only 17 centers. And I agree completely on this point, but I would also disagree, and I said this on the Global Chat, talking with Russia at this point, that since a player starting in the north has so many enemies more, so many neighbors, rather than a southern power which has only Balkan as an additional neighbor. In the north, you have Spain, Lowlands, and Norway to worry about. Winning as a northern power requires a great deal of diplomacy and mischief and deceit. I had to juggle a lot to get where I am. I don't doubt that endgames are easier as a northern power, but the early game as a northern power can be brutal, I think. And actually, statistically, Balkan, which is a southern power, is the most winning power in this map. So that was my conversation with Russia. Russia, when he discovered I only needed 18 centers, wrote in all caps a giant no. Yeah, so that must have felt bad. But even if they knew I needed 18 and not 19 to win this game, wouldn't have really mattered. Maybe he would have advised Italy to move to Piedmont, but as I said, Italy has had more than 2 years to move to Piedmont and didn't do it. So I would think that Russia already said that to Italy, and Italy just refused because it didn't trust Russia. That was a mistake from Italy, but also even if they moved to Piedmont, I still would have had a chance to win with some good guesses. So at this point, the game is basically over. So why did I say that I tried to make the game more interesting? Well, at this point, I went and did something a little bit nasty. I didn't really appreciate how Spain played the diplomatic game in this game. If you remember, in past years, Spain was pretty rude to me, was pretty harsh in his judgment, and sending rude messages to other players not only is useless, is also counterproductive. I don't have much to say on the tactical play of Spain, but I didn't like being addressed in that manner. And since I now have the choice of trying something and I don't have any downside because I'm already winning, and this might make the video more interesting. And also, it gives me a chance of winning with 19 center instead of 18, which is always, something more to brag about. And also, since every single variant power, Roland, Norway, and Balkan was eliminated, I thought, why not try to eliminate Spain at this point and complete the circle? It doesn't matter from a ranking standpoint, because Spain would always be rewarded with a survival at this point because of the diplomacy rules that say that you can be considered a survivor of a game even if you are at 0 center if the end of the game occurs before the big phase. So basically, even if I took Spain and if I didn't lose Tunis, Spain would be considered a survivor because he didn't destroy his units, because the game would end at the end of autumn and not after the winter. So it doesn't really harm Spain. It makes me a little happier if I manage to lie to Spain and demonstrate to him that I can really be Gollum if I want to, like he said I was. And lets me take a little bit of revenge, try for the 19th center, and also makes the video more interesting. So I contacted Spain and I told them that for some reason Russia and Italy wanted to eliminate him. I told him my sets of moves, which is Mid-Atlantic Ocean to Spain, supporting with Portugal. Marseille would support as well. And Tunis will hold, and he should do Piedmont to Marseille. Western Mediterranean supports owned Spain, or Spain moves to Mid-Atlantic Ocean and Western Mediterranean supports Spain to Mid-Atlantic Ocean. Either one is good. In this way, he would maintain Spain, I would maintain my hold on Tunis, and I would win with 18. And I told him, I don't really care what you do. I am at 18 anyway, whatever move you do, but it's your choice if you want to survive in Spain. And that's a blatant lie. I'm actually not holding with Tunis. I am moving to Western Med from Tunis. And if you see, this move that I'm going to do makes all the difference, because any support from Western Med would be cut. So he would lose Spain, and if he actually uses Western Med to support Spain, I don't even lose Tunis and I win, even with Tunis with 19 center, having crossed the stalemate line with much more honor and glory and a little bit of nastiness because of what I did to Spain, but whatever, he survives this game. Anyway, Spain, he responded in a borderline rude way, not saying anything, but with a not enjoyable demeanor, even though I was lying to him, so whatever. And yeah, so this was my plan to eliminate Spain. I don't know if it will work. and we'll see. Yeah, so basically it didn't work. This is my only disappointment of this home game. Spain went to Tunis, supported by Ionian Sea. It didn't fall for it. I took Spain and a win. Turkey survived. Russia went, realizing the writing was on the wall, to retake Trieste and tried for Ankara, trying to take as many centers as possible because it didn't really matter. And I won with the only stain on my conscience that Spain was still alive and went. And that's it, basically. After this, there were a lot of congratulations on the global chat by long gone players and players that remained alive until the end. And I started to announce that I was probably going to make a series about this game because this was my favorite game of diplomacy that I played so far. I think I played pretty well, and I think there were some players that played really well, and I enjoyed playing, especially with the players on the northern side of the board, and also with the ones on the southern part. It was a real pleasure for me making this series. I thank you if you've reached the end. And hope I will make another series like this in the future. It's a little bit time consuming, I will admit. Thank you for watching this series. Thank you for listening to a weird Italian guy with a weird accent talking about a game of diplomacy that ended at least more than 3 weeks ago now. And I'll see you soon.